The moment you tell someone your plans, you have already lost. Picture it. You're at dinner with your family. The conversation turns to you. What are you working on? What is your next move? Where do you see yourself in 5 years? The question hangs in the air. Everyone is looking at you. Your mouth opens. You start talking. You share your dream, your strategy, your secret ambition. And in that exact moment, you have handed them the knife they will use to cut you down. Because the world does not reward transparency. It punishes it. Information is ammunition, and every time you speak, you are loading someone else's gun. Niccolo Machiavelli understood what modern society desperately wants you to forget. He knew that power belongs to those who conceal, not those who reveal. That the moment you make yourself known, you make yourself vulnerable. That silence is not the absence of communication. It is the ultimate form of control. But you were raised to believe the opposite, weren't you? Share your feelings. Be authentic. Communicate openly. Let people in. These are the lies that keep you weak. These are the chains that keep you manageable. Because a person who reveals everything is a person who can be predicted, and a person who can be predicted can be controlled. Today we're going to discuss 5 pieces of information that you must never share with anyone. Not your friends, not your colleagues, not even your family. These are the secrets that Machiavelli would have whispered to a prince in the dark. These are the truths that will separate you from the masses who walk through life as open books, wondering why they keep getting read and then discarded. If you can master strategic silence, you become a force, you become unreadable, you become dangerous. Let's begin. Why do you tell people things? Why, when someone asks you a simple question, do you feel this overwhelming compulsion to answer fully, to explain completely, to reveal yourself totally? It starts in childhood. You were 3 years old. A parent asked you where you were going. What were you doing? Who were you with? And you learned that answering questions equals safety, that transparency equals love, that revelation equals approval. Fast forward 20, 30, 40 years, you're still that child, still equating disclosure with acceptance, still believing that if people really know you, they will love you. But here is what is really happening. Every time you reveal information about yourself, you're giving away leverage. You're showing your cards before the hand is over. You're telegraphing your moves to opponents who are taking notes. Machiavelli wrote that men judge generally more by the eye than by the hand. They see what you appear to be. They rarely feel what you are. Translation: people do not care about your truth. They care about controlling your narrative, and the more you tell them, the more material they have to write that narrative for you. This is not about lying. This is not about being fake. This is about understanding that information asymmetry is power. The person who knows more while revealing less holds the frame. The person who answers every question, who overshares, who needs to be understood, is the person who gets exploited. Every single time. So let's talk about the 5 things you must never reveal. These are the pressure points of your existence. These are the vulnerabilities that others will use to diminish you, sabotage you, or simply position themselves above you. Guard these with your life. Secret number 1, never tell anyone your next move. Never reveal your plans, your strategies, your future ambitions. Why do people do it? Because humans are social creatures desperate for validation. You have a goal. You're excited. You want to share that excitement. You want people to encourage you, to believe in you, to tell you that yes, you can do it. So you announce it. I am starting a business. I am writing a book. I am leaving this job. I'm moving to another city. And what happens? 2 things. First, their doubt becomes your doubt. They will not say it directly. They will say, "That's great, but have you thought about? Are you sure this is the right time? What if it doesn't work out?" They plant seeds of hesitation in soil you thought was fertile. Second, you get a dopamine hit from the announcement itself. Studies show that when you tell people your goals, your brain experiences a premature sense of completion. You feel like you have already achieved the thing simply by declaring it. The motivation to actually do it diminishes. You talked yourself out of execution by talking about intention. Machiavelli understood that the battlefield is won before the first sword is drawn. The ruler who telegraphs his strategy is the ruler who gets ambushed. The general who announces his plans is the general who loses his army. Here is the scenario. Your family asks what you're working on. Defensively, you say, "I am building an online business. I am going to be financially free in 2 years. I have this whole system mapped out. You give them the timeline, the strategy, the dream. Machiavellian, you says, just exploring some things, keeping busy, and you smile. You give them nothing. Do you see the difference? Defensive, you are seeking permission, seeking approval, seeking validation that the path is right. Machiavellian, you have already decided. You do not need their opinion because their opinion is irrelevant to your execution. You are moving in silence. When you reveal your plans, you invite interference. Interference comes in many forms: sabotage, competition, doubt, jealousy. Sometimes people will actively try to stop you because your success threatens their mediocrity. Sometimes they will passively drain your energy by asking for updates, questioning your choices, reminding you of past failures. Either way, you lose momentum. This is the trap of the announced ambition. You think you are being accountable. You think you're building support. What you're really doing is outsourcing your belief to people who have no stake in your success. You're asking passengers for directions when you are the one holding the wheel. Stop it. Move in darkness. Strike in daylight. Let your results do the talking. When you show up transformed, wealthy, powerful, successful, and they ask how it happened, you smile and say, "I stayed focused." That is all they need to know. Secret number 2. Never tell people about your good deeds. Never reveal your acts of generosity, your kindness, your sacrifices. This one cuts against everything modern culture tells you. We live in an age of performative virtue. People post their charity work. They broadcast their activism. They need the world to know they are good people. Why? Because they are seeking external validation for internal worth. They do not feel good unless other people see them being good. But here is the brutal truth. The moment you advertise your generosity, it stops being generous. It becomes a transaction. You are not giving. You are purchasing a reputation. You are buying social credit. And people can sense that. They smell the desperation underneath the performance. Machiavelli knew that the prince who parades his benevolence is the prince who gets taken advantage of. When you make your kindness visible, you train people to expect it. You set a precedent that you must continually perform to maintain your image. You become trapped by your own virtue signaling. And when you inevitably fail to live up to that standard, because you are human and you will have bad days, people will punish you for it. They will call you a hypocrite. They will say you were never genuine. Your past good deeds will not protect you. They will be used as evidence against you. Here is the scenario. You helped a friend financially. You gave them money when they were struggling. Defensive, you tell other people about it. I was there for them when no one else was. I helped them get back on their feet. You need credit. You need recognition. Machiavellian, you stay silent. You helped because you chose to. That person knows what you did. That is enough. You do not announce it. You do not use it as social currency. You move on. What happens in the first scenario? The friend hears through the grapevine that you have been talking about helping them. How do they feel? Humiliated, exposed, resentful. You turn their moment of vulnerability into your story of heroism. You made their struggle about your generosity. They will never forget that, and they will never trust you again. What happens in the second scenario? The friend remembers your help as a private act of loyalty. There is no audience, there is no performance, just two people and a moment of genuine support. That creates a bond. That creates real loyalty. Because you proved you are not doing it for applause. You are doing it because you are solid. This is dark psychology at its finest. The person who helps in silence wields far more power than the person who helps on a stage. Why? Because silence makes your generosity feel like a choice, not a compulsion. It makes people wonder what else you've done that they do not know about. It makes you mysterious. And mystery is magnetic. When you broadcast your good deeds, you give people a full inventory of your moral resume. They know exactly where you stand. They can measure you. They can judge you. They can decide you're not that impressive after all. When you stay silent, they cannot measure you. They cannot judge what they cannot see. You become larger than life. You become the person who operates by a code they do not fully understand. And that commands respect. Let your actions ripple outward without your name attached. Let people discover your character through experience, not through your advertisements. Be the person whose kindness is whispered about, not shouted about. That is power. That is sovereignty. That is Machiavellian mastery. Secret number 3, never tell people about your struggles. Never reveal your trauma, your breakdowns, your moments of weakness. This is going to upset the therapy generation. You have been told that vulnerability is strength, that sharing your pain creates connection, that opening up about your trauma is healing. All of that is true in one context, with a therapist, with a close trusted confidant who has earned that intimacy. But not with everyone, not with acquaintances, not with co-workers, not with people you barely know, and certainly not on the internet, because here is what is really happening. When you reveal your trauma to people who have not earned that access, you are not bonding. You're giving them a map to your weaknesses. You're showing them exactly where to press when they want to hurt you. You're handing them the instruction manual to your psychological vulnerabilities. Machiavelli wrote that everyone sees what you appear to be, few experience what you really are. The ruler who appears invulnerable maintains power. The ruler who shows his wounds invites attack. This does not mean you cannot heal. This does not mean you should repress your pain. This means you need to be strategic about who gets to see behind the curtain. Not everyone deserves access to your inner world. Not everyone has earned the right to know your story. And most people, if we are being honest, do not care about your healing journey. They care about how your story makes them feel, or what they can do with that information. Here is the scenario. Someone asks why you are the way you are. Why are you so guarded? Why you do not trust easily. Defensive, you says, well, I had a really difficult childhood. My parents were absent. I was betrayed by people I loved. I have been hurt before. You lay it all out. You explain yourself. You think that if they understand your past, they will understand your present. Machiavellian, you says, I have learned to protect my energy. And you leave it at that. No details, no sob story, no invitation to pity you, just a statement of fact. What happens in the first scenario? You have now positioned yourself as damaged, as a victim, as someone whose current behaviour is a reaction to past pain. People will treat you differently. Some will pity you, which is the death of respect. Some will weaponize your trauma the moment you have a conflict with them. Well, no wonder you're like this. You have unresolved issues. They will use your past against you. They will reduce your complexity to a trauma response. You will never escape that box. What happens in the second scenario? You remain a mystery. They do not know why you are the way you are. They just know that you have boundaries, that you are selective, that you are intentional about who you let in. This creates intrigue, not pity. This creates respect, not manipulation. You're not a victim in this narrative. You're a strategist. This is not about hiding your humanity. This is about understanding that your story is sacred. Not everyone deserves to hear it. Not everyone has the capacity to hold it with care. And most people will use it to position themselves above you or to feel better about their own lives. Your struggles are yours. Your scars are yours. Guard them. Let people wonder. Let them make assumptions. Let them fill in the blanks with whatever narrative they need. You know who you are. You know what you have survived. You do not owe anyone an explanation. The world respects mystery. The world respects strength. The world does not respect the person who overshares their pain to strangers hoping for validation. Be the closed book that people wish they could read. That is power. Secret number 4, never tell people about your income or financial situation. Never reveal how much you make, how much you have, or how much you're struggling. Money is the language of money, power. And the moment you speak that language out loud, you create problems. If you reveal you are broke, people lose respect. If you reveal you are wealthy, people resent you. Either way you lose. Why do people reveal their finances? Because money is tied to identity. Poor people want sympathy. Rich people want status. Both are desperate. Both are handing over leverage. Machiavelli understood that the prince who flaunts his wealth invites envy. The prince who reveals his poverty invites disrespect. The wise ruler keeps his coffers a mystery. Here is the scenario. Someone asks how much you make. Defensive, you says, oh, I am doing okay, not great. Or, I have been really fortunate, making good money now. Either answer is a mistake. Machiavellian, you says, enough, and you smile, or you deflect. Why are you trying to borrow money? You make it awkward. You shut it down. Do you see the power shift? They asked an invasive question. Instead of answering like a child who feels obligated, you treated it like the boundary violation it is. When you reveal you are struggling financially, people devalue you. They do not want to, but subconsciously they see you as less capable, less worthy of respect. They stop inviting you places. They offer unsolicited advice. They position themselves above you. You become the charity case. When you reveal you are wealthy, people resent you. Suddenly your problems do not matter. Your stress is not real stress because you have money. People expect you to pay. They guilt you. They judge your purchases. They feel inferior, and that inferiority turns into hostility. You become the target. This is the trap of financial transparency. You think you're answering a question. You're really repositioning yourself in the social hierarchy and giving people permission to judge your value by your bank account. Stop it. Your income is not a conversation topic. When you keep your finances private, people cannot put you in a box. You exist outside their economic measuring system. You become unquantifiable. Financial mystery is financial power. Be that person. Secret number 5, never tell people about family problems or internal conflicts. Never reveal dysfunction, drama, or private struggles within your family. This is the one that will make you uncomfortable because you have violated this rule. We all have that moment where we vent to a friend about a family member. Mum is driving me crazy. My brother is a mess. My spouse and I are fighting. You are frustrated, you need to vent, so you open your mouth, and you have made a critical error, because family business is sacred, and when you air it to outsiders, you're not just betraying your family, you're weakening yourself. Why do people do it? Because family conflicts are emotionally overwhelming. You feel trapped. You feel like you will explode if you do not tell someone. So you tell your friend, you post about it online in some vague way. You think you are seeking support. You're really inviting outsiders into your private battlefield, and outsiders do not help. They judge. Machiavelli knew that the family is the foundation of power. A prince whose household is divided will fall. A ruler who allows outsiders to see internal conflicts will be exploited. The family must present a united front, even if behind closed doors it is chaos. This is about loyalty. Your family's reputation is your reputation. When you talk badly about your family, you talk badly about yourself. You share DNA. You share a name. Their dysfunction reflects on you. Here is the scenario. A friend asks how things are at home. Defensive, you says, "Honestly, it has been really hard. My mum and I are not speaking. My dad is impossible. I am just trying to survive." You unload. You vent. You feel temporarily relieved. Machiavellian, you says, "We are good. Family is family." And you leave it there. No details, no drama. What happens in the first scenario, your friend now? Has ammunition. They might bring it up later. How is your mum? Still not talking? Or they tell other people. Did you hear about her family? Gossip spreads. Your family's private pain becomes public entertainment. And when people know your family's dysfunctional, they see you as dysfunctional. They cannot separate you from your origins. You might be successful, but in their mind they think, "No wonder they are like that. Look at where they came from." You have given them a lens to view you through. What happens in the second scenario? You maintain the wall. Family business stays in the family. Outsiders do not get access. Your family remains a mystery, and you remain in control of your narrative. This is the trap of the venting confession. You think you are building intimacy. You're really giving people a reason to look down on you. When you tell me your family is a mess, I will nod sympathetically. But internally, I have categorized you. I have placed you in a box labeled, "comes from dysfunction." It means I will trust you less. It means I will question your judgment. None of this is fair, but it is human nature, and Machiavelli dealt in human nature, not fairness. If you have family problems, deal with them internally. Get a therapist. Talk to the family member directly, but do not broadcast it to people who have no power to fix it and every reason to use it against you. Keep your family's secrets. Keep your family's struggles. The world does not need to know. Protect the sanctum. Protect the name. That is loyalty. That is power. So what is really happening here? Why does silence about these 5 things create power? Because power is not about what you say. It is about what you withhold. Every piece of information you reveal is a piece of yourself you give away. The person who reveals everything has nothing left to protect, and a person with nothing left to protect is a person without mystery, without boundaries, without sovereignty. Machiavelli understood that human beings are predictable. We judge, we envy, we compete, we sabotage. Not because we are evil, because we are human, And the only way to protect yourself from human nature is to give people less material to work with. When you're silent about your plans, no one can interfere. When you're silent about your good deeds, no one can diminish them. When you're silent about your struggles, no one can weaponize them. You become a fortress. You become untouchable. But this requires something most people do not have: self-knowledge. You have to know yourself so deeply that you do not need external validation. This is the shadow work. This is the brutal self-examination that most people avoid. Why do you feel the need to tell people your plans? Because you are seeking permission. Why advertise your generosity? Because you are seeking validation. Why share your trauma? Because you are seeking sympathy. Why discuss your finances? Because you are seeking status. All of these impulses come from the same place: insecurity, the belief that you are not enough on your own. But you are. You are whole. You are sovereign. And the moment you realize that, you stop leaking information. You stop seeking approval. You stop performing for an audience that does not matter. You become the person who moves in silence and strikes with precision. You become dangerous because people cannot manipulate what they cannot measure. They cannot control what they cannot predict. And they cannot diminish what they cannot define. Silence is not weakness. Silence is strategy. Silence is strength. So here is your challenge. For the next 7 days, you are going to practice the law of secrecy. You are forbidden from revealing any of the 5 things we discussed. Someone asks about your plans. You deflect. Someone praises you for something you did. You downplay it. Someone asks about your struggles. You keep it vague. Someone wants to know your finances. You change the subject. Someone wants gossip about your family. You shut it down. This is going to be uncomfortable. You're going to feel the urge to explain, to share, to connect through revelation. Resist that urge. Sit in discomfort. Feel the compulsion to speak and let it pass through you like a wave. Watch what happens. Watch how people react when you stop feeding them information. Some will get frustrated. They will push harder. Good. That means you are doing it right. They can no longer read you. They can no longer place you in a category. Others will respect you more. They will see you as someone who operates differently, someone who has boundaries and self-respect. They will start treating you like you matter. This is not a trick. This is a fundamental shift in how you move through the world. You are no longer an open book. You're a locked vault. And the only people who get the combination are the people who have earned it through years of loyalty. Everyone else gets the surface. Everyone else gets nothing. Machiavelli would tell you that people are opportunistic. They will use whatever you give them. So stop giving. Stop volunteering your vulnerabilities. Make them earn it. And until they do, keep your mouth shut. This is how you reclaim your power. This is how you stop being prey and start being predator. Move in silence. Let your actions speak. And when people ask you how you did it, smile and say nothing. If this resonates with the part of you that is tired of being an open book in a world full of critics, you know what to do. Subscribe. Not because I told you to. Subscribe because you are done being prey. Because you understand that information is power, and you are done giving yours away for free.